Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. I did that for the Silver Surfer poster in the background. And I haven't played with GAMBIT in a long time. And GAMBIT is the poster child for the CTP of energy. But there's a new kid on the block. That's right, the mighty and brilliant CTPs of destruction. And for a long time, for basically the entire time, these CTPs have been the underdog. These CTPs have been laughed at and basically referred to as an obelisk with an extra effect. And it's true. They're not the best for PvE and they're not the best for PvP. So basically, you're not really gonna use many of them. And so I'm guessing most of you watching have 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 lying around in your inventory. Maybe they're equipped on bad characters like Ant-Man, like I have. And you sort of get the point. So what we're gonna try to do today is we're gonna try to explore the new CTP of destruction, the mighty CTP of destruction. And I'm going to compare it, there we go. I'm going to be comparing it to a regular energy CTP. Now I know how that sounds. Alex, you're going to reforge a CTP of destruction, which basically is 2 CTPs of destruction fused into one. And then you're going to compare it to a regular CTP. Well, yes, I am. For starters, lots of characters are recommended for a CTP of energy. Lots, like 10, 20, 30. You basically can't get enough CTPs of energy for your characters. Well, that's not the case with the CTP of destruction, because like I said, I have some laying around in my inventory, and I sacrificed a bunch trying to reforge for this Black Friday, and I'm guessing a lot of you have done the same. You've either kept them in your inventory, equipped them on bad characters or subpar characters just to have them do something, or you sacrifice them in reforging because they're just not as good. But that might change. That might be about to change if the mighty CTP of destruction is as good as some people have said that it is. So it's a really interesting case study and basically breathing new life into old or forgotten CTPs. Yeah, it requires reforging, which is a bummer. So having 1 CTP of destruction isn't going to be enough, but at least you can make 2 CTPs of destruction work for you rather than having 2 useless CTPs. Basically, what I'm saying is there's a possibility that the mighty CTP of destruction is as good or better than a regular energy, which means for every 2 destructions you have, you actually have 1 more energy, or possibly something even better. So I'm going to show you the reforging process here really quickly. I'm just going to do a basic reforging. I am not going to be going for a super success or a brilliant or anything like that. This is the absolute minimum that you can spend to reforge, and you basically need to use 2 of the same CTP. So we're going to be using 2 CTPs of destruction here. The roll is good, which I think is good when you're reforging for just a mighty, and then you're going to need 50 of those. They're down there. 50 of those CTP reforging cubes. If you don't know where to get them, you have to get them from World Boss Legend content. So you got to beat Null, you got to beat Mephisto. You can farm more than 50 in a day, so it's very easy to farm once you've unlocked those bosses. But it is gated behind that content. So we're gonna go ahead and regular mighty here. This is the cheapest way to just guarantee yourself a mighty. And now we're going to explore what the new mechanic is for the CTP of destruction. It's called strike. So we keep all the rest of the stats, which are good. We rolled a 100% strike. I'm honestly not even sure what the maximum amount of strike is for. I think it's 160, so I don't think we got the best possible roll, but I'm not really interested in getting necessarily the best possible roll. I just want to see how good this can be compared to an energy. So we're going to now run GAMBIT through a World Boss Legend stage with an energy, and then we're going to swap him over to this destruction and see how he does. So we're going to start on stage 30 with the existing CTP of energy that GAMBIT has equipped on him. We're going to do the 6 cancel 3 cancel 5 combo, which we are used to using with the CTP of energy, followed up with the 4th skill. We do about 4.5 bars of damage, which is nice. And we're basically going to see how long it takes him to get Null out of the chair. We're just doing phase 1. Okay, we got caught by the cage. We didn't dodge the cage there. And then we're going to compare our numbers, our time, with the CTP of destruction. Now, I chose GAMBIT for the sole reason that he actually doesn't have any ignore dodge on his kit. He does have ignore dodge on his leadership. Nice, we dodged the 2nd cage. He does have ignore dodge on his leadership, but he doesn't have any on his passives, which is actually pretty interesting because he does have chain hit. So my theory, because the Mighty CTP of Destruction actually does give you 100% ignore dodge, it's an unlisted buff on the strike ability that it gives. Because of that 100% ignore dodge, my theory that I want to test with Gambit, and I'll test it with other characters, but for now with Gambit, is that the Destruction, the Mighty Destruction, is actually going to be better for characters who have chain hit, but not ignore dodge. We'll have to wait and see. It's a PvE CTP now, but there we go. That was 1 minute and 9 seconds. Seems about right, 1 minute and 15 to 1 minute and 10 seconds. And that was with his regular CTP of energy. We had to use his leadership because, like I said, Gambit does not have any ignore dodge. He's getting 36% from his CTP. He's getting 3% from my cards. And so he has 39%. And that's it. And so you have to use his leadership or someone else's leadership with 50% ignore dodge, or you have to use a bunch of ignore dodge strikers. So the other valuable thing about the Mighty CTP of Destruction is if you don't have ignore dodge strikers, or you already use them for someone else, you don't need to use them at all. So not only can you skip using an ignore dodge leadership, you can also skip using ignore dodge strikers, which means you can use a damage leadership, which means you can use damage strikers. I use damage strikers there, but not a damage leadership. So now we're going to be able to do both of those things. So I'm going to swap out his CTP of energy for this Mighty Destruction. Now keep in mind, I said that I didn't know what the increase, the maximum strike was. The maximum strike for a Mighty is 120. I rolled 100, so I'm pretty close to the max here. And if you actually click on strike, it tells you right here, strike grants dodge ignore or ignore dodge and increases damage dealt to boss types. What are boss types? They're basically the non-playable enemies that you fight in World Boss, in Shadowland, in some of the Shadowland stages, in the boss stages for Shadowland, in Alliance Battle Extreme, ABX, the Frost Beast, and in things like Squad Battle against Surtur. So it's those big bosses at the end that you generally don't kill because they have infinite HP or whatever, or bosses in World Boss Ultimate and World Boss Legend and certain Shadowland stages. So it's going to increase this, give this massive damage increase to them. The only really tricky part about this CTP here is that you have to move around to charge up the effect. So it's a bit of a mechanical issue, but for Gambit it works out because he already has to move around. So we're gonna be able to switch over to Ebony Maw's leadership instead of using Gambit, so we get an extra 40% energy attack. And now what I want you to notice is there's a bar underneath Gambit's HP bar. And that bar is going to fill up. It's blue as well, so it should be a different color. But it's going to fill up as I run, as I physically move Gambit around. That is going to be the bar that fills up. And when it's full, my next attack will trigger this strike ability, which gives me 100% ignore dodge. And in this case, with my CTP, 100% increased damage to the boss types, sitting in the boss type chairs, looking all bossy. So here we go. Hopefully I won't mess up this rotation. We're just going to run around here, and then 3, 6, 5. And there we go. Okay, we did a little bit more damage than I was expecting to do. We did trigger our Insight proc. Oh, we also triggered our regular proc. We're going to run around here, and then 3, 6. Okay, that's a lot of damage. True. So you notice now I have 3 procs. It's kind of chaotic, but next to Gambit's icon, I have 3 of those. I actually have 4. Wow, I have 4 of those vests. There's 4 vests. I honestly don't know what the 4 vests are for. I know one of them is the regular Destruction proc, one of them is the CTP of Insight proc, and one of them is the Strike proc. I'm not sure what the 4th one is, but anywho, we're going to keep running around here. It's a light blue. It's a light blue color. And we're going to do 3 cancels 5. Very nice there. What's that? Oh, guard break immunity. We're going to get stuck by this cage here. So in the first run, we were able to do both cages. In this run, we were not able to do the the second cage. So we're going to lose 5 seconds here. So we're going to add 5 seconds to his time. But I have to just remember to keep running around. Oh, I think we missed our proc there. Yeah, we definitely missed our strike proc there. This is a lot to keep up. Huh, okay. Okay, so he does it in 1 minute 15, but we add on 5 seconds because I got hit by both cages. I wasn't able to dodge any of the cages, so I lost 5 seconds, and he ends up being about as fast as he was with an energy. And I honestly think he can do better than that, because the very first rotation, and you can go back and watch, but the very first rotation, I was only getting about 4.5 bars with an energy, but I was able to get like 6 or 7 bars with this Mighty Destruction. And I think I goofed up some of the procs. I think I forgot to charge up the Mighty for some of them. It's very easy at the beginning to charge it up because you have to run up to null here. But yeah, like that one's actually about the same amount of damage. I don't know. Maybe I am goofing it up here. That seems like a lot of damage. We'll try one more here. We didn't get hit by this cage. This will be a much more accurate one in terms of the time that it takes. I think I missed the strike proc though. Yeah, the strike proc was late. It seems like even though oops, it seems like I ran into the stun there. It seems like even though the strike proc is charging up, it's not always activating. Yeah, it seems like I have to delay its activation a little bit. I'm not really used to this. We're gonna have to take this stun. I'm not quite used to this, so I'm you know, this is my first time playing with a reforged CTP. So do forgive me on that. That's a lot of damage, dude. That's almost 5 bars with a regular rotation, right? You do have to run around a lot though, which I can definitely see will be annoying to some people. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you know what? I think if you get this right, it's definitely... So basically, I think you can't charge the strike proc right away. I think that's what I'm starting to understand. The strike proc has a cooldown, and it won't start charging again until after that cooldown. So it's got a 5-second proc and then a 2-second cooldown, but you have to wait for that 2-second cooldown because there was moments there where I was running around and the bar wasn't moving. So there we actually ended up getting it at the exact same amount of time. This is actually 5 seconds slower because I missed one of the cages. So it's a bit inconclusive at the moment, but it does seem like there's life to this rumor, to this theory. I wouldn't call it a rumor, it's a theory that the Mighty CTP of Destruction is as good, if not better, than the Energy CTP for certain boss slaying, boss killing characters, you know, PvE type characters. Moonbro has a great video breaking it down in his, you know, own testing with an Energy versus a Mighty Destruction. I think it's a Mighty Energy versus a Mighty Destruction with Moon Knight, but he has a lot more experience playing with those CTPs. So, you know, maybe, for example, Gambit with a Mighty Energy would have an even easier time. He would do even more damage. However, the point of the video is not to compare them apples to apples, because Energy is so powerful on its own for so many characters, right? Moonstone, Sharon Rogers, Gambit, Cable, all these characters. Destruction is not. Destruction's good for like 3 characters, maybe 4. So being able to then fuse your destructions and get a better version of an Energy, especially for specific characters who do move around a lot and are missing ignore dodge, you can actually come away with a really good CTP, which then basically just functions as an Energy for you with almost the same playstyle, because you're still relying on a proc and you're still sort of running around in between waiting for your next rotation to sort of build up. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to do a lot more testing on this. I want to swap it around to other characters. So if you do want to see that as well on different characters, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Mighty CTP of Destruction. I'm going to have a CTP, like a best of CTP video coming out soon, like the top 10 characters for each CTP. I was actually going to make that video for today, and I got through the other 9 CTPs, but then I realized I just didn't have enough information about Destruction yet, and so it didn't feel complete without testing. And since not enough people have tested it, it falls on me to test it, and so here we are. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed watching Gambit. Throw them cards, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.